Oh, you know what you got to do is you got to shake it up. There you go. And then, oh fuck! I don't want to talk about how much whiskey I just got on my blazer.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Weekly Whiskey After Hours on Thursday morning, and we are so glad to have you here. It's an awesome episode. We are finishing up after our Tuesday night, so the lights are dimmed, the fun is going on, and the glasses are popping. John, how you doing, my friend?
Doing excellent, buddy. I am very glad to be here checking this out. We get a really cool one for him tonight, don't we?
Hell yeah, I'm stoked for tonight. This is really cool. People who are in the whiskey know will know this, but we'll walk through it a little bit as well. We are talking about a Stagg Jr. single barrel. So that is a crazy concept for people who've been fans of Stagg Jr. from batch 1 to batch 16. Know that these are batches, right? They're not single barrels. But in 2020, Buffalo Trace has released the Buffalo Trace Single Barrel Stagg Jr. program, which has driven people absolutely crazy. And we have a single barrel here to try tonight. So I'm pretty pumped about this one.
Totally. So this one is clocking in at 134.4 proof.
Hell yeah.
Which is just a hair above the most recent batch, which would be 15. And man, I don't know. Do we just want to dive into it or want to talk about it more? Because I'm ready to try this thing out.
I'm ready to dive in. So for people who don't know at home, Stagg Jr. is a twice annual. So it comes in the spring, it comes in the fall. It is a cask strength around 10-ish year, 10-ish, not 10-ish. Sorry, no 10-ish here. 10-ish year released from Buffalo Trace. This is their mash bill 1 mash bill. So it's the stuff that's going into Stagg Senior. Things that are going into most EH Taylors, you know, the big stuff. And these are single barrels now. They're coming out. So this is 67.2% ABV. It is a rocket to the moon, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm really interested. This was a single barrel for the Dallas Bourbon Club. So I say we just give it a go. We got the details. People know.
Yeah,
these are new, crazy, hyped. I'm curious because I love Stagg Jr., but one of the big aspects is that it's been perfectly blended to be like that high proof 10-ish year bourbon. So I'm curious what a single barrel is like.
Right on. So anybody else who's checked out the channel has probably seen our comparison where we did, what was it, batch 12 through 15, correct?
Yeah, 12, 13, 14, 15. It was
and
long night, pretty rough morning.
A pretty beefy comparison, right? But I mean, some of the things we do for science just need to be done.
Yep.
And you know, this being one of them, checking out one of the very first single barrels to hit the market and seeing how all of these kind of stack up, I think gives us a little bit of posterity to just to kind of say, as a Stagg Jr. fan, where does this one land in comparison to some of those others? And on the nose for me, it's much more like 14 than the others.
Yeah, this is like a Fuji apple caramel bomb.
I'm missing the fruit. It's going much more towards, yes, like the vanilla caramel type of deal.
Okay, I can see that.
I mean, I'm catching that, you know, background apple peel that's in that Buffalo Trace yeast that you get with most of their products, but it's not like the, like if you think batch 12 is sort of the bar, right?
Yep.
Anybody who's into the Stagg profile has heard of or tried multiple bottles of batch 12. This is not striking me the same way that does on the nose. Let's see how it goes. I do get this nice brown sugar though going on in the nose. It's nice.
This reminds me, yeah, more of like a light apple fruit instead of those big cherry, blackberry, blueberry notes that I get in
totally.
Like some of those really iconic Stagg Jr. batches. This is more of a dessert profile with that, like a hint of that apple fruit, maybe a little pear, a little maybe like bit of peach.
Yep, I can see that. I can see the pear for sure. A little bit of the buttered apple type of, again, apple crisp. A little touch of cinnamon in there, brown sugar. Good vanilla. It actually gives me a little bit of that toffee that I feel like batch 15 brought forward. A slightly darker profile.
I'm noticing big graham cracker, like vanilla bean, maple syrup kind of candy notes, a little bit of pepper clove. Enjoyable, not as The heat seems pretty well restrained for, if I'm being honest. Like this, I would not have pegged this at 67% blind.
No, I don't think I would have either. I mean, and that's kind of the beauty of the Stagg stuff, is there's so much flavor that ethanol doesn't rip your face off. I mean, this is just kind of like there's some punch to it for sure. I mean, this is definitely a no joke whiskey, but this is something where as you're going through, you can really dissect it, and it's not just like, man, this is hot.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like a good evolution of the product, really, because it's not like it was in its earliest days, but man, this is it's opening a little bit more as I swirl it, but really I feel like I've kind of touched on most of what it's got in the glass for me. And the fruit complexity isn't there like it would be on a batch 12, but the other desserty sides are dialed up a little bit more, like maybe more like a batch 15.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is landing a little bit more towards 14 for me, which is on the lower end of which ones are my favorite. Which is, I mean, still to say, like, in a product that I really like,
yeah,
it's tough to complain.
It's a difference between good to great here, right? Like, I love this big passion fruit, peppery, spicy, peppery notes. Like, I think it's very nice. It doesn't hit, at least personally speaking, like towards some of the best batches I've ever had. But after batch 5, so batches 1 through 5, I thought were okay. 3 on were consistent, but I don't think that Stagg Jr. really hit its stride until batch 5. And like, I wouldn't say this is bad. Like, I think this is a perfectly respectable Stagg Jr. It's in the profile, a little more like stone fruit, like peach, pear, apple, which kind of surprises me. That big Fuji crisp, acidic, sweet note. But overall, I think it's really good. I think it's up there. I wouldn't say near the top of my batches, but that's kind of the power we get with blending too, though, right? Like, they're taking a bunch of these barrels, making the best they can for that blend. But
yeah,
don't chase Stagg Jr. batch 1, 2, or 3. Don't pay $1,000 for those. Like, buy this instead. I think this is grossly superior, and it's just a little bit below some of my favorite like Stagg Jr. blends.
Totally, yeah. I wouldn't say this is middle of the pack or even lower of the pack for me. I mean, I think 12 will be my favorite for quite some time. That was a really, really good release.
12 is so good.
15 is also a very, very good release, and I'd probably put this just underneath 15 for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of that is just that this leans away from that vanilla cherry pie that I kind of get in some of these other Stagg releases. And especially somebody who's a big fan of what we could call George T. Stagg Sr., right? Like the real deal Stagg. I think a lot of folks that enjoy that really dig the cherry profile that they get from it. And this doesn't bring that along. However, it's fucking delicious. I mean, this is great whiskey.
Yeah, I agree. This is all graham cracker, fiery apple pie. This is some cinnamon, vanilla bean, nougat. Really great.
Did you just throw in a graham there? Was that a...
I try not to, but,
Oh.
On a day like today,
That's my fault.
It's inevitable. But, I think that's the big difference here. So that profile they're bringing to the Stagg Jr. batch line is those big cherry, big maple, big woody, oaky notes. And this is a little bit different, which frankly, I'm a fan of. I think it's fun to see that apple pie, caramel crisp, clove, kind of like vanilla bean note. Like, it's close, but a little bit different. Yeah. And honestly, I'd be disappointed if someone picked a single barrel and it tasted exactly like the same batches we get all the time, because, we would know exactly what Buffalo Trace is picking. But I think this is fun. It's different. It's unique. I think it's going to hit some people more than it hit me. But, I mean, I would happily drink this any day. I would.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for that, like, apple crisp, apple cinnamon type of desserty side of things, this totally does it. I mean, there is a nice little kick of clove, cinnamon. I don't get nutmeg on it, but I mean, like, there is definitely a bacon spice going on in there. And I think overall that's going to work really nice for just about anybody on the finish. And then after you compare that with like the fruit forward nose, where it's not the red fruits, cherries, things like that, but you get the apple, a little bit of like, yeah, I could see a passion fruit or something else in there kind of going on. But really, like, the oak structure and all, it just works nicely. And this is just a pretty nice pour overall. So I do think, especially if you can find these at retail, obviously fucking buy them. Like, don't not buy it for whatever reason you may or may not have. right? I
But
mean, scoop these up and enjoy them because that's what they're for. And shit, they're worth it.
yeah, they're worth it. I would not sell an offspring for one of these, but I think, if you can get one, buy one. I think it's super interesting. Compare it, share it with your friends, share it with friends of your friends and some accomplices. Really great side-by-side material. I think it's great. I love what they're doing with the standard batches, but the single barrels are fun and different to try. And I honestly, I didn't expect that. I think this is a really cool experience for whiskey drinkers.
Sure. I mean, if you wanted to get a single barrel and then sip that alongside our Stagg comparison after hours video, I think you could probably find where this weaves into that web for you. And you could really you could just dial this right in and, see where this falls between the most recent batches, 12 through 15. And I think you can figure out for yourself sort of which one you think is the preferred.
Yeah, I think that's see where this falls in the timeline. Like modern Stagg 12 to 15, that's basically what you're looking at. So like check this out, see if you can get a sample, try it out, see where it falls in your big list, and then you know whether or not to hunt one like crazy, because there's no doubt but the single barrels are not as good as value as the already kind of rough small batch, version releases. So give it a go. Let us know what you think. Overall, I like it. It's different, and I applaud that. I think that's what I hoped for it.
Yeah, totally. So if you guys are liking what we got going on here, and you like the comparisons, you like the tastings, the reviews, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and check out the additional after hours content that we've got in a playlist there. You'll be able to find a bunch of comparisons and other things that'll probably tie into things just like this, comparing a Stagg single barrel to the other Stagg Juniors. And I do like it still.
It's so good. I mean,
I just always like Stagg, man.
It's like it's weird to call it Stagg Jr, but it's like Stagg Jr.'s brother, if that makes sense. Different but the same.
Stagg's cousin, yeah.
Same but shit. Different. Like that movie.
They're all good.
Some time ago. But anyways, guys, this has been awesome. We love getting to compare stuff like this. So if you're interested in catching more, you can catch John and I on Tuesday nights at Weekly Whiskey Live. We have a bunch of different guests. We have celebrities. We have a really fun tasting panel. All stuff is going on. You can catch new episodes at Weekly Whiskey After Hours that drop on Thursday mornings as well. And most importantly, if you enjoy what we do, if you want to support it, go ahead and check us out at patreon.com/thewhiskeynet. That is whiskey spelled with an E, so the Whiskey Net. We really appreciate any support you have. We are growing. We love what we get to do, and we love to compare new, interesting things going on. So catch us on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've got great stuff going on, and in between, we're picking single barrels too. So if you're interested in whiskey, go ahead and subscribe, and we would love to have you. But in the meantime, I'm going to drink more of the Stagg. This is really good, man.
Shit, I already finished mine.
Well, you've got a problem that everyone else has too, which is they want more Stagg. So if you love Stagg, drop us a comment. If not, go ahead and let us know why. And we'll see you on Tuesday and Thursday for new segments.
Cheers, guys.